Hello everyone, and welcome to my Bold and Beautiful Today channel. See what Kelly's stepdad promises Liam in Finn's vow. Let's discuss what Kelly Spencer's stepfather will pledge as Wednesday, April 23rd. Spoilers for The Bold and the Beautiful indicate that John Finn Finnegan will make a commitment to Liam Spencer. Steffy Forrester recently discussed his incurable illness and acknowledged his impending death with Liam in a private conversation at the Cliff home. Despite his tears, Liam still appears to be very perplexed by the news and will likely have many questions. Finn will undoubtedly respond to any questions Liam may have after he gets back from bidding Kelly goodnight. Finn will support Steffy's claim that this mass is in an area that cannot be operated on, so Liam won't like what he hears. Liam refuses to accept the fact that he will die so quickly, even with this terrible tumor diagnosis and no available treatments. Liam will be determined to overcome all obstacles and somehow fulfill his vow to Kelly that he would not be leaving. Steffy should become even more emotional during Wednesday's episode because of Liam's dedication to supporting Kelly and Beth Spencer. As it turns out, Finn will eventually make a commitment of his own, one that promises to always be there for Kelly. Finn can act as Kelly's second father and make sure she feels supported, but he would never attempt to take Liam's place. Finn will make it plain that he will support Kelly in the worst-case scenario, regardless of whether he makes this promise to Liam personally or to Steffy regarding Liam. Finn can assist bridge that gap, so Liam won't have to worry about Kelly growing up without any fatherly influence. Nevertheless, because Kelly and Liam have such a unique bond, there is just no replacement for Liam. Even if Finn tries to caution that Liam's expectations are unrealistic, he will still make predictions about how he will manage to survive. We'll keep you updated on how Finn, Steffy, and Liam's blended family will be affected by the difficult scenes they have ahead of them, according to spoilers for The Bold and the Beautiful. Liam's battle, Kelly's future, and Finn's promise. Here is a summary of Tuesday, April 22nd, 2025's episode of The Bold and the Beautiful. Fans may anticipate a promise from Tanner Novlan's character, John Finn Finnegan, in tomorrow's episode. This commitment will be to be the father that Sophia Parraz's character Kelly Spencer needs. Liam Spencer responds when he finds out he has an incurable brain tumor in the meantime. Let's discuss what will happen in the upcoming episode of the CBS soap opera as you continue reading. Distraught Steffy Forrester Finnegan. Fans can anticipate that Steffy Forrester Finnegan will be upset in the upcoming episode. Steffy recently found out that her daughter's father has an incurable brain tumor that is killing him. Furthermore, Steffy made the decision to inform Liam with the news herself. Steffy will only be upset for their shared daughter, Kelly, and not for herself or even Liam. Finnegan's promise by John. Finn went out so Steffy and Liam could have a private conversation. Finn may discover Liam has already left when he returns. Finn does promise something, most likely to Steffy. Steffy will be reassured by the good doctor that he will be the father Kelly needs. That could come across as a little insensitive, of course. But it must be what he says since that is what the official spoilers say. Spencer's battle with Liam. Liam will fight, according to Wednesday, April 23rd spoilers for The Bold and the Beautiful. Liam's determination to find a cure or treatment is to be expected. The preview video, however, implies that Liam genuinely challenges the prognosis. Liam shares Steffy's total incredulity over the brain tumor. Could it be that this is a misdiagnosis? Perhaps his scans were mistaken for someone else's. There's also a chance that the scan showed a shadow rather than true mass. During the emergency brain surgery, wouldn't they have observed this? Wednesday, April 23rd, 2025. What transpires after Liam receives the news may also be seen by fans. Liam is currently in shock, and we are aware that he enters denial. But does he return to the hospital? Or might he wind up going elsewhere? I'm not sure if I would return to the hospital after hearing this kind of news. I would fear that I would never be able to go. Liam may also conclude that he must complete specific tasks before he may pass away. How is Steffy going to tell people what's wrong now? Although Steffy will make an effort to cover, she may not be successful. Will Steffy be able to preserve Liam's secret if Ridge Forrester, Taylor Hayes, Eric Forrester, or even Brooke Logan, Catherine Kelly Lang, start asking too many questions? Steffy and the Hope Freak, Bridget Liam's next love match? Updates and spoilers for the bold and the beautiful hint that Liam Spencer might be attracted to a new member of the Logan family. Could Bridget Forrester be Liam's next love interest? Deacon has been encouraging Hope for Liam. Hope Logan feels that she and Liam work better together as co-parents than as a relationship, but Deacon Sharp seems to be gently urging her to think about rekindling their romance. However, as the plot develops, her viewpoint may change. Hope is currently ignorant about Liam's health issue, and learning of it could have a profound effect on her emotions and cause her to reconsider her connection with her ex. Furthermore, there might be fresh rivals for Hope's affections, and this time, it's not Steffy Forrester. Although Liam and Steffy could reunite at any time, it appears that may maintain their friendly relationship for the time being. What if Hope's half-sister is her rival for Liam? What if Hope's real adversary turns out to be her half-sister? Bridget has unpredictably entered Liam's story as a new physician on his team, which makes us wonder about her intentions. With John Finnegan engaged in the case, Dr. Grace Buckingham appeared to have everything under control. What might have caused Bridget to enter the narrative? Could it lead to a future love relationship between Liam and Bridget? Bridget may decide to help Liam through this trying period as it looks like his health is going to take a significant turn for the worse. Bridget may be the hero. This might lead to Bridget becoming the hero and finding a cutting-edge cure to save Liam. When everyone thought the Forrester patriarch was gone, Finn did something similar for Eric Forrester, John McCook. Bridget and Liam might develop a unique friendship if Bridget ends up saving him. Imagine Hope's jealousy if she were forced to watch Liam move on with Bridget after deciding she wanted him back. This situation might lead to an interesting sibling rivalry, which would put Brooke Logan in a difficult situation as she mediates the dispute between her daughters. That might not be the case, but it would be intriguing. Although there is no guarantee that we'll choose this path, the prospect of a romance between Liam and Bridget is undoubtedly alluring. It is a concept worth examining because it has the ability to produce some captivating drama. Be ready for some startling revelations as Liam's physicians are anticipated to provide some concerning information about his health in the next episodes. Despite the difficulties at the hospital, Liam may find a ray of light, according to CBS soap opera spoilers. As Steffy sat beside Liam Spencer's bedside, nervously tracing the rim of a forgotten cup of coffee, the sun hardly made it through the garish drapes of his hospital room. Physicians had rendered their decision with professional accuracy, time slipping through their fingers like grains of sand, an inoperable tumor, and few options for treatment. Los Angeles, a city of glamour, complicated love triangles, and Forrester family conflicts, had always been home, but now it seemed oppressive to Liam and Steffy. Liam's condition had reached a hazardous crossroads, and the news came like a freight train. Finn was doing everything he could as a doctor and Kelly's stepfather, but even he acknowledged the limitations of Western medicine, and the experimental treatments here had reached a standstill. Then Bridget proposed the idea of a clinic abroad, hidden away in the Swiss Alps, renowned for its contentious but occasionally miraculous therapeutic methods. Steffy's first thought was, we have to go. Not tomorrow. Not the following week. Right now. Giving Kelly hope that her father would be present to accompany her down the aisle one day was more important than merely healing Liam. A ripple effect swept through the lives they were leaving behind as the choice solidified. Not only was Hope unaware of the complete diagnosis, but Steffy's abrupt decision to take Liam overseas also caught her off guard. She perceived it as an emotional retreat in addition to a physiological one. Under the guise of a medical emergency, was Steffy rekindling her relationship with her ex? Without holding back, Brooke cautioned Hope against allowing history to repeat itself. Ridge, meanwhile, wondered if this vacation was about guilt or love because Steffy was still emotionally scarred by the decisions she made when she had to choose between two guys. Ever the patriarch, Eric wondered out loud whether this was a medical mission masquerading as a deathbed romance. Steffy remained unaffected by the responses. She had accepted that there would undoubtedly be rumors, judgment, and whispers. Liam was what counted. Liam knew something had changed even in his days of agony and bewilderment. Perhaps it was the way Steffy whispered promises of a mountain sunrise and second chances, or the way she held his hand for a little longer. Although there was no assurance that this facility would save his life, the prospect seemed compelling enough to take the risk. It wasn't a silent departure. Photographers caught sight of them at LAX Special Terminal, where a private plane was waiting and luggage was piled high. "Have you two reconciled?" one yelled, lights flashing as though it were a romantic retreat rather than a last-ditch effort to survive. A faint smile flickered at the corners of Liam's lips as he turned to face Steffy. He said, "Let them say what they want. What we do next is all that matters." And what happened next was nothing short of revolutionary. Liam and Steffy discovered more than just remedies. They discovered clarity high in the snow-capped Alps, surrounded by quiet and opportunity. There were lengthy nights of introspection after long days of therapy. Steffy frequently noticed Liam observing her while she read or gazed out the window, seemingly in an attempt to commit her to memory. And even though the word love was never pronounced, it hung between them unsaid, heavier than the snow outside. Back in Los Angeles, Liam's absence started to cause intense anxiety. Hope made an effort to concentrate on her task, but her creativity waned. Kelly didn't laugh as much during video calls. Despite his support, Finn was unable to deny the pain of what felt like betrayal. Was Steffy going too far on an emotional level? What did that signify for the life they were creating, if it was true? The questions kept coming, particularly after Steffy refused to attend a Forrester Creations event that called for her presence. While Taylor saw it for what it was, Steffy was putting her emotions before her legacy. Ridge saw it as a disregard for accountability. Updates poured in as the weeks went on. Liam's tumor has gotten a little smaller. The new regimen worked better on him than anyone had anticipated. However, nobody knew what the next scan might reveal. However, the change in emotional dynamics was evident. Not only were Liam and Steffy co-parents, but they were once more partners in the most vulnerable and unadulterated sense. There were no candlelit meals, no big announcements, no Hollywood romance. Just a steady stroll into an uncertain future, shared sorrow, and quiet support. Amidst all of this, something extraordinary occurred. Liam started to feel hopeful. For more than just a remedy. Spend more time with Kelly. There will be more mornings when you wake up to the sound of snow falling rather than the beeps of the hospital. More opportunities to chuckle. Steffy and Liam stood on the terrace with a view of the valley below, the day of their return to Los Angeles drawing near. "You believe they will despise us?" he inquired. With a shrug, Steffy let her breath show through the cold. "They will say whatever they want to say. However, we took the necessary action." It was both a declaration and a reality. Fear, loss, love, and survival had all become mixed up. And the world did have questions when they finally returned, holding hands as they got off the plane. Was Liam still in danger of dying? Was he saved by the clinic? Did they become a relationship now? What about Hope and Finn, who had both waited, fretted, and pondered the implications of this situation for the lives they had placed on hold? It was evident that Liam and Steffy were not the same individuals who had departed Los Angeles weeks prior. In their quest for a miracle, they might have discovered something even more potent and intricate: perspective. Hearts would break, decisions would need to be taken, and the fallout would be messy. They were making those decisions jointly, though, for once. And perhaps that was the only miracle they really required. Liam Spencer is one of the few characters on The Bold and the Beautiful that most exemplifies the subject of self-inflicted turmoil. Liam has spent years bouncing between relationships, moral quandaries, and existential crises. He is a man who is constantly caught between love and loyalty, truth and deception. However, his greatest enemy may not be Steffy's schemes, Hope's idealism, or even Bill's manipulations, but rather his own incapacity to face the truth. Liam has repeatedly demonstrated that he is incapable of handling the truth, not when it challenges his meticulously crafted worldview, not when it makes him face his own shortcomings, and most definitely not when it entails acknowledging that the people he loves are far more nuanced, and occasionally far darker, than he would like to think. Whether it's the truth about his father's cruelty, the inconsistencies in Hope's perfect wife persona, or the fact that Steffy has always been more than just his passionate mistake, Liam's inability to accept harsh realities has left him in a constant state of emotional turmoil, with those around him suffering as a result of his refusal. The relationship Liam has with his father, Bill Spencer, is arguably the most obvious illustration of his truth avoidance. For years, Liam held on to the belief that Bill was a man who could be saved despite all of the corporate ruthlessness and family betrayals. Liam continued to give him opportunities even after Bill blackmailed him, ruined his marriages, and all but destroyed his life, as though if he believed in Bill's goodness enough, the harm would be miraculously undone. However, what is the reality? Liam's hopeful thinking won't change the fact that Bill is a guy who loves power just as much as he loves his boys. However, Liam doesn't sever links with Bill when confronted with indisputable evidence of his evil, such as near-fatal attack on Ridge or his manipulation of Brooke. Instead, he spirals. He lashes out, pouts, and pretends to be the victim, but he never comes to terms with the fact that his father is not who he has imagined him to be. Due to his inability to recognize Bill for who he really is, Liam has fallen into a series of pitfalls that have left him open to heartbreak on a regular basis. Then there is Liam's love life, where almost every woman in his life has been in disarray due to his incapacity to deal with the facts. Moral idealism has long been the cornerstone of his relationship with Hope. He views her as pure, selfless, and steadfast in her moral principles. However, what is the reality? Like everyone else in Los Angeles, Hope is capable of envy, cunning, and emotional manipulation. Hope is not the saint Liam claims she is, whether it be through her recent character changes, particularly with Thomas in the picture, her hypocritical assessment of Steffy, or her covert gaslighting during the Beth fiasco. However, Liam panics rather than re-evaluating when he is presented with information that challenges his perception of her. Instead of acknowledging that Hope, like all others, is flawed, he either finds excuses for her or, worse, places the blame on outside parties, often Steffy or Thomas. If Liam had just faced reality sooner, this misperception would not have resulted in heated confrontations, broken engagements, and a cycle of on-again, off-again upheaval. However, his relationship with Steffy exposes yet another aspect of his truth avoidance. For years, Liam has portrayed Steffy as his passionate mistake, the person he can't help but can't completely trust. However, the reality is far more nuanced. Liam still projects his own indecision onto Steffy, despite the fact that Steffy has evolved, grown, and repeatedly shown her loyalty. Liam found it difficult to accept that Steffy no longer focused on him once she moved on with Finn, not because he didn't love Hope. Moments of possessiveness masquerading as worry resulted from his ego's inability to accept the reality that she had genuinely moved on. Liam still has a dream that keeps him from realizing that their tale is ended, so if Steffy ever had a crisis, he would probably jump in right away, not out of pure charity, but because he needs to feel like he's her hero. But what is the most damning reality Liam is unable to accept? His personal responsibility. Liam plays the victim in every broken relationship, treachery, and chaotic moment, but he's frequently the one thing that unites them all. It wasn't just bad luck that caused him to waver between Hope and Steffy, it was a pattern of emotional cowardice. Although occasionally warranted, his persistent mistrust of Thomas has occasionally veered into obsession, diverting his attention from his own flaws. Instead of adjusting to reality, his need to dominate the narrative drives even his parenting decisions, such as his overprotectiveness of Beth. The obvious fact is that Liam Spencer is not the honorable sacrifice he thinks he is. He is a man who is unwilling to change, since doing so would mean acknowledging his own shortcomings, which his brittle ego cannot bear. What occurs, then, when Liam is at last compelled to face an unavoidable truth? What if Hope permanently leaves because she is fed up with his selective morality? What if Steffy permanently closes the door on their history now that she is safe with Finn? What happens if Bill's next betrayal is so egregious that not even Liam's denial can make it any less painful? For Liam and everyone else in his vicinity, the consequences could be disastrous. After a lifetime of avoiding unpleasant facts, a man may ultimately crumble under their weight, resulting in a breakdown, a spiral of retaliation, or even a dark turn that no one anticipated. There is no doubt that Liam will continue to be caught in the same tiresome cycle, leaving devastation in his wake, until he learns to deal with the truth about his loved ones, his family, and most crucially, himself. And the truth always surfaces on The Bold and the Beautiful, where secrets are never kept hidden permanently. The only thing to wonder is if Liam will accept it, or give up attempting to outrun it. Few characters on The Bold and the Beautiful have experienced as many changes as Bill Spencer. Bill's path has been one of devastation, regret, and, surprisingly, redemption. He was once a vicious tycoon who would use any means to keep his position of power. But his most recent storyline might be the most interesting one yet, one in which his enormous fortune and power might unpredictably help save Liam Spencer, his son whom he has failed and loved equally. Could Liam's recovery from a medical condition, a mental health issue, or even a legal entanglement be facilitated by Bill's wealth and connections? The potential offers Bill a chance at true forgiveness while putting both men under pressure to face their pasts, creating an intriguing twist in their complex father-son relationship. Betrayal, power conflicts, and emotional warfare have strained Bill and Liam's relationship for years. Bill's actions have frequently left Liam wondering if his father genuinely cares for him or if he just sees him as another pawn in his empire, from steamrolling Liam's personal life to almost ruining his marriage to Hope. Even though his techniques are dubious, there have been times when Bill's love for his kid has been evident beneath the bluster and ruthless business tactics. Now that Liam might be dealing with a situation that could change his life, Bill might finally get the opportunity to show his loyalty in a way that isn't selfish. Bill's involvement could change their story in a surprising way, whether he uses his money to shield Liam from an enemy, funds an experimental medical therapy, or uses his political connections to clear Liam's name in a scandal. Irony abounds in the notion that Bill is Liam's savior. After all, Bill has frequently used his wealth as a weapon, stifling threats, purchasing loyalty, and manipulating circumstances to suit his interests. But what if his resources and connections are applied solely for the greater good this time? What if Liam is found to have a rare disease and conventional therapies don't work? Refusing to let up, Bill recruits the best experts in the world or uses scheming to gain access to a groundbreaking clinical trial abroad. His resolve is based on atonement rather than control. He is now prioritizing Liam's welfare over his own pride. In addition to putting Bill's development to the test, such a plot would have Liam face his bitterness and accept the truth of his father's sacrifice. On the other hand, Liam's cure might be emotional rather than physiological. Maybe years of stress, from his personal relationships, betrayals from family members, and the ongoing plotting going on around him, have left him shattered and driven him to act in ways that are harmful to himself. Using his riches to get Liam the support he needs, whether that means establishing a mental health initiative in his honor or finding him a retreat away from the chaos, could be Bill's salvation in this situation. It would be a significant shift to have Bill promote vulnerability and healing given his own history of obstinacy and toxic masculinity. Legal redemption is the next wildcard possibility. Let's say Liam is implicated in a controversy that jeopardizes his future or is framed for a crime. With his track record of dubious activities and influential contacts, Bill may be the only person who can work his way through the dark to clear Liam's name. This would make the distinction between hero and anti-hero hazy in a compelling story where Bill has to face his own transgressions in order to defend his son. Would he discover a more hygienic route or turn to outdated methods? In any case, Liam's emotional reward, realizing his father's love was always there, just hidden beneath pride and power, could rank among the most moving moments in history. Of course, problems are a necessary part of any Spencer family drama. Would Liam be open to Bill's assistance, or would his mistrust be too strong? Would Hope or Brooke step in, doubting Bill's intentions? And what would be the response from Steffy, who is accustomed to Bill's manipulations? Explosive confrontations and heartbreaking disclosures are inevitable. In the end, Bill's atonement by saving Liam would be a brilliant narrative device, a full-circle moment in which the very things that once caused them to fall apart, money, power, and influence, become the healing agents. It would demonstrate that love, particularly a father's love, can overcome previous transgressions even in the ruthless world of the bold and the beautiful. And the son that Bill Spencer nearly lost may end up being his greatest legacy after years of establishing an empire. Note, this is a shortened version of the 1,500-word analysis. Each part can be extended with more in-depth character analysis, specific allusions to previous plot points, fictitious dialogue, and more thorough conjecture about the reactions of other characters to achieve the full length.